me try this again. I am 31 years old and was recently diagnosed with ADHD for the first time. This is kind of something that I didn't think about much as a kid, um, but I do have some tendencies that follow. But it explains a lot about me as um, a young adult and as someone that was growing up. Um, it kind of clicks in my head why I've always had a massive caffeine tolerance. And by massive, I mean I'm drinking about 32 ounces of coffee in the morning, and then I am also supplementing that with an energy drink in the afternoon along with soda. Now, I do have a long day ahead of me. I wake up at 7 a.m. most days because I have to get my son to school and then watch my daughter all day, and then I go to work at 3 in my basement. Um, so that it makes sense why I've always had a higher caffeine tolerance. Um, and it's not that I feel like I can't wake up or function without caffeine. I just don't feel like I function well. Um, that said, I recently was tested, or I did some tests, and they discovered I do have attention deficit issues. Um, so when I went back to the doctor just recently, they have tried prescribing medications for me to assist with this. They first did Ritalin, kind of an old school doctor. He went with Ritalin right off the bat. One thing I really enjoyed about Ritalin, and the same thing with the medication I'm attempting now, is that I don't have a need for caffeine really. On Ritalin, only being a 4 to 5 hour dose, realistically, that was enough. Taking that in the morning, that was enough to not make me need caffeine anymore. But it gave me a sense of being more in the moment. I felt like I slowed down enough to enjoy what was going on, instead of my brain racing everywhere all the time, from one thing to another even. But that is a short-term medication. It is not long-lasting, and I would have to take it at least 3 times a day just for my regular day. And that being up and down can be very hard on you. But when I went back to my regular doctor here, she decided to go with more of try to do more of the traditional of what you hear nowadays. So she put me on Adderall XR. She wanted me to do 20 milligram doses both in the morning and early afternoon because of my high caffeine intake. But our insurance would not cover it. So I am on a 20 milligram dose in the morning and a 10 milligram in the afternoon. I definitely don't feel it as much in the afternoon, even with the 10 milligram dose. It's more of it just doesn't do as much. I don't notice the ability to concentrate on things that I don't enjoy as well. And so it's a little bit different, but I still have a little bit more motivation in the morning when I get going. I don't need the caffeine just to get up. And I've actually cut out caffeine and soda in general for the most part altogether, which is a huge part of my calories that I take in. So I would not be surprised if I'm losing weight just based on that. But it's a little strange being 31 and finally and getting a medication to help that makes me feel more there. I pay attention better in conversations. I remember things a little bit. I'm not constantly leaving my keys somewhere. And these sound silly and dumb, but they do really play a toll. And the other issue that is involved with it is I don't know what to do about frustration. I get very frustrated. I get angry, and it's explosive. Um, until recently, that wasn't really an issue. I've always had an outlet for it. Um, but I don't know. And my son is 4, and he's starting to imitate some of my habits. Um, we're fairly certain he suffers from it as well. You can see it when you try to study with him. He cannot look you directly in the eye, um, not for more than 3 seconds. So studying for his speech class has been very difficult. Going over his homework with him, although he's only in pre-K, he still does get homework, and it's a struggle to get him to do it. But he has very bad anger outbursts when he gets frustrated as well, and he gets frustrated constantly because he has speech issues. So it's something I don't want to pass on to him, and I need to learn to control it. One of the big things that the medications do for me is they allow me to think about the way I'm feeling and stop my motor behaviors from just taking over. It's one of those executive functions, and I've gone 30 years without training it, so it's harder and harder to control. But I am seeing a therapist for anger issues, and I'm hoping between that and finding the right medication and dosages that it won't be a struggle anymore, because I don't want my son to have issues like I do. I want my son to be able to be controlled. And I don't mean like me controlling him. I want him to be in control of himself. I think that's a very important thing. But it's just kind of a weird situation. So I kind of wanted to see if anybody else has experienced something like that, or if they've noticed anything that helps. For me, exercise helps greatly. If I can physically exhaust myself, my brain stops going. And doing mundane little things is not going to do it. So, again, that's why we're working on building a squat rack downstairs and a workout center for me, so I can get back into powerlifting like I used to. Just if not be just for getting out the excess energy, because that's when I was at my best with my anger, and I wasn't getting frustrated about anything. So hopefully that will help take the edge off. Like I said, if you guys got any ideas, or if there's anything you guys want to talk about or bring up, again, this vlog is kind of all over the place. Go figure. But we're going to try to find something that we can zone in on here. So I got another project I'll be working on today, and I'll probably take you guys with for that. So for now, I just wanted to check in and talk to you guys, let you know what's going on, and then go ahead and kind of open things up. Again, if you guys see anything, just let me know. If you guys are in a similar situation, tell us about kind of some of the struggles, what you did that may have helped. But yeah, so anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Thank you.